Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. This is a gentleman that requested his natal chart to be analyzed, so that's what we're going to do. Now, what's most important is the free form they get. This will be emailed with the video link when this is all done. And this person can take this information and it teaches them all about astrology, all about the archangels that are connected to the astrological houses, all about anything that has to do with the 12 houses, the north nodes. I already saw that this gentleman has a unique connection, which we will talk about. So he needs to really learn about the eighth house, which is ruled by Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And also numerology, the links to go to is in there, and also the whole Capricorn Cancer connection. Learn more about that if you have a unique Capricorn Cancer connection, because that has a lot to do with people that were sent here, not just born, but they were sent here. And a lot of these are just videos you can listen to on life. Anything with karma, karmic debt is in there. Like I said, numerology, natal numerology is all there. So this is a free form that they get. Dealing with a negative energy and harassing spirits, because a lot of people do have problems with that. There's a video on that. In fact, I want to check that video link to make sure it is still up and running. So that's the first thing, because people are waking up, and my goal is to try to help them as much as possible. Okay, the link is still up. I just want to listen to it for a second. All right, in this video, we're going to be learning how to walk in spirit. All right, so that's that. All right. Now, if anybody's ever heard about the black sun, that's there. Moon cycles and doves, esoteric information or interpretation. Again, because this gentleman had a unique occurrence with the birds, the black birds. So you can find that. Just go to his YouTube search engine and write bird symbolism. It'll come up. Or you can say, what does it mean when a black bird flies? Anything. Just type in a search engine. So you want to get familiar with the internet, because it'll really give you a lot of help and information. This channel also has a lot of information. I have a lot of services I offer as well. And then it tells you the 12 houses, what it's all about, and how everything ties in. So it's a good thing, like for a person just starting out, that's really great information. And me, I'm more interested in my real calling. I'm not as interested in third dimensional, but I've been here for a while, so I kind of understand third dimensional. And if you want to stay on the lower levels, the primordial levels, then third dimension might work for you. But once you start to ascend, it's just like you don't want to be about, you don't really want to be around kids no more. And the more you have uh ascension symptoms like I'm having, you start to have less and less patience for people that just want to keep trying to pull you back into some BS. Because that's usually what third dimensional is usually about. All right, I'm gonna hit this on pause for a second, and then we'll get started. All right, so you should be looking at the same natal chart that I'm looking at. In fact, there's a couple of things I want to do. Give me one moment. All right, so now you're looking at the chart. This person was born in Jordan. Now, where they were actually born, I did type it in, and they didn't give me that name, so I just typed what I could find, and this was what I did. It did come in because the system did not accept the name they gave me where they were born, but this is still good. Still in the vicinity. It's still good. Now you always want to look at the first house, and their first house is the Virgo is a sign. Now, if you notice, their east point is right on the border of the 12th house and the first house. So you want to keep that in mind. It's just sharing that energy. And when you know about the Sphinx has the Virgo as the head and the body of the lion. So Virgo and Leo always have a unique relationship. All right, now I want to look at something else as well. Give me a moment. All right, I'm gonna pause this for a second. All right, so the personality is the person in service. A lot of time when you see Mars with a Virgo, this could be a military person or a military minded person. Virgo is about service, health, healing, subordinates, or co-workers. Could be about animals, could be about the home. It could even be about younger people. And you notice he's got a lot of numerology there with the 51.5 at his ascendant and the 2028. So this is a person who is about service, but service isn't limited to. It could be military service, any official service, anybody that has a gun or a weapon. Now in the Bible, if you notice, the blackbirds came to Elijah when he was in the cave, and they fed out, like they brought him food. The blackbirds were also associated with a Noah's Ark, and those blackbirds, the Bible, the King James version calls them ravens. Those blackbirds are associated with heavenly angels or angels or birds. Now, ironically, it goes right to his second house. The second house deals with your money and your possessions. Money and possessions. But you have Libra, which can be business, partnerships, contracts, justice, balance, karma, and it has Venus right there. So something that has to do with a relationship and love. Venus is love, beauty, diplomacy, forgiveness, finances, and that's in your second house. So you would definitely have your finances, but your finances are definitely going to be related to that Libra relationship or even partnership in your second house. And your second house is ruled by Taurus. Your first house is ruled by Aries. So to understand your second house, you would have to go to your seventh house, and we'll get there when we get there. Now, your third house, that's your sun sign. And your sun sign is Scorpio. So Scorpio is all about secrets, power, sex, transformation, change, mystery. Scorpios tend to be doubting. Like it takes them a while to believe. But once they believe, they can be pretty loyal. But it just takes a while to believe. And when you see somebody with a sun in Scorpio, that type of person will actually not be afraid to talk about things that are normally considered taboo or secret or dark. Oh, nobody's supposed to know. And the sun is like the divine masculine. And if you notice, his sun is at 1 degree, representing a new beginning. And then he's got that 30, and then he's got that Pluto at 433. 4 is an angelic number, and 33 is always a secrets, hidden knowledge, knowledge that most people don't know. Plus, his Pluto rules Scorpio, and he's got all that in his third house. So he will be communicating about these deep things, these deep mysterious things, esoteric things, soul things, things that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and things that are hidden. He might even deal with the tarot cards and or the angel cards. He's not really going to be afraid of the other side. And he's also a true, not only is he a true Scorpio with Pluto ruling Scorpio, he's also a true Gemini because Mercury rules Gemini and Gemini rules the third house. So this person's going to have powerful and deep conversations in the unknown. And there's Juno. So now Juno means he may find himself in a serious relationship with a Scorpio type person or possibly a Gemini type person. And that's the number 6 is his Juno, and 6 is Venus. Again, Venus, that's Venus's number, the number of love. And then he has Saturn there. So Saturn is about discipline and even setting up standards for making rules. So he may actually set the standards. Like again, when you see people making these video games, and these video games are dark in the underworld and stuff like that, a lot of times this is a type of arrangement they have. They actually start creating, more advanced video games and stuff nobody else had thought about. Because your third house is the house of creativity. It's the house of lower education, not higher education. And again, that's a lot of these people that are playing these video games. They're not really interested, and they're just trying to have fun. They're not interested in college and higher education. They just want to have fun. So creativity, fun, because your third house is a lot like the fifth house. It's all about fun, communications, romance, and stuff like that. Now, the fourth house is about family, and you have Sagittarius, which represents the ninth house. Now, the fourth house is about education, your heart, land and property, travel, vehicles, but it's also about whoever played the mother figure in your life when you were growing up, your early life. That person will always be in your subconscious. It's called Imum Coeli. So that woman will always be in your subconscious. And because the fourth house is ruled by Cancer and the Cancer rules the moon, the moon will be using that person to talk to you as well. Investa is the asteroid, but that asteroid deals with your furnace. So anything in your house that deals with your furnace or your heater or even a fireplace, that literally has to do with Vesta. But Vesta also represents fiery energy or a lot of energy. And Uranus is very independent, likes to travel just like Sagittarius. So you might be the type of person that'll go on family trips and things like that. But Sagittarius rules the ninth house is also about higher education, philosophy, foreign matters. So these are all things that'll be of interest of you. And then coming out of your fourth house into your fifth house of romance, there is Neptune, planet Neptune. Planet Neptune deals with dreams, idealism, and can be kind of deceptive, because a lot of people that come under Neptune's influence, they think things are going to be just perfect, just lovely, and then they get hit with reality. And that's why they put you in your 5th house. They put Saturn, Capricorn there, because Capricorn rules Saturn. So Saturn's a little bit more realistic. Saturn's not trying to play no games. Saturn wants to see it up front and wants it regulated. And because Saturn rules Capricorn, Capricorn is a lot like that. So when your 5th house, that's supposed to be about fun and love and romance and going, the universe put Capricorn there, because if it didn't, you would have Neptune, and you would be dreamy. You would be idealistic. You would believe in love, true love, no problems, no complications. Oh, love will find a way. But the universe is saying, no, no, no. You better balance your idealism out with Capricorn, which is a lot more serious. And Capricorn rules your 10th house of career and reputation. So you don't want to damage your career and reputation being too idealistic. And then, but in your 5th house of travel and romance and childlike behavior and children and childbearing and taking risks and just having fun, that's where you're going to have a significant event. That is a vertex cross. You're going to have a significant event. And if anybody listening, you notice it's at 1947. And I'm always telling you guys about 1947 in numerology. Takes you to Mexico, takes you to Roswell. Now, going to your 6th house, which is all about the home, service, family, cleaning animals, cleaning, animals, co-workers, subordinates. But if you notice, your 6th house is right across from the 1st house, where Virgo is. So they're once again utilizing your energies, your Aries energy and your Mars energy and your Virgo energy. So Aquarius means you're going to really, like I said, you're going to be some type of innovator for people. You're going to be teaching others. And that's what they said in your 3rd house too. And you're going to make money because of doing it. Like I said, if you create some type of video game or some type of thing that people just love, the money's going to pile in. The money's going to pile in. And that's what they're telling you in your 6th house. But it may also be related to your service and things like that. And Aquarius rules your 11th house. So when we get to your 11th house, we'll learn more. But Uranus rules Aquarius. And if you notice, Uranus was in your 4th house, which again has to do with education and training and stuff like that. And that's really, Aquarius will always be a teacher. Some people may not see Aquarius as a teacher. They may see Aquarius as a social worker. But anywhere you're going where you're encouraging people, that is a form of teaching. Now, your romantic house, and there you have it, Pisces. So you're a highly spiritual person. And the moon used to rule Pisces. So the moon makes Pisces very psychic. So you're a very psychic person. Very intuitive, because Neptune rules Pisces now. And Neptune makes Pisces a dreamer. So in your relationship, you really do believe in dreaming and spirituality. And Pisces can be associated with love. And if you ever see Venus and Pisces in the same house or relating to each other, Venus takes Pisces to unconditional love. Now, so you're psychic, spiritual, and again, that is your relationship sector. But the moon is going to take you back to your 4th house again, because the moon rules Cancer, that rules the 4th house. So again, all this stuff I've been telling you about is going to keep taking you back to the 4th house, even with Imum Coeli, and also your 9th house of travel and foreign matters and strange things and philosophy. And I guess you could say, like, when a person has class and etiquette, that's all coming out your 9th house. So that's what you're going to have in your 7th house of relationships as well. All right, so we're going to continue. So now we're going into the 8th house. Now that's the house ruled by Scorpio, and that's the house that Pluto rules Scorpio. So then this is the dark house, the primordial house, soul, sex, depth, taxes, esoteric information, hidden information, secrets, mysteries, enemies. The 8th house is internal. The 12th house is a lot like the 8th house, but the 12th house is external. So the 8th house is the crazy people and the people that are motivated by spirits, those who are under spiritual influence. The 8th house, that's the 8th house. The 12th house is the prisons, the police stations, and on and on. That's the external. You get to actually see the result of that. So we're going to learn a little bit more about that. You have Aries in the 8th house. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So you have a connection between your first house, ruled by Aries, where they put that Virgo and Mars. And Mars used to rule, well, Mars does rule Aries. So they're really manipulating the energy, because if you notice, your Mars is pointed right at Aries, and really that red line, in my opinion, should have went where Aries is. Because when I normally see charts, the Mars will be pointing, and it will be a red line right from Mars to Aries. But for some reason, they diverted and took it into your 7th house of Pisces. So there may be some type of confrontations there. There may be some type of confrontations there, just by the way the energy is going. And also they're going to use that Virgo energy of service and stuff like that, healing, because it's about health. Virgo's about health, the 6th house. Virgo rules the 6th house, but they also use that energy in your 6th house as well. And then you want to go back to where Scorpio and Pluto is, which is your 3rd house of communications. So you'll really be talking a lot about the 8th house. And it's going to be, that will be a major part, because Aries represents your 1st house, your personality. But you may even come across like spiritual healers, because that's where Virgo is really connected to all of that. You may come across, in your lifetime, you may come across different forms of spiritual healing. But now the big thing you really want to look at is that it's called the part of fortune. Now that area in your 8th house, let's count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That area in your 8th house that looks like a circle with an X sign in the middle, that's part of fortune. So we really want to study that. Because as you notice, as we climb your chart houses, you start to see a little bit more intricate asteroids. That's really what they are. But you want to really keep your mind on them. So we're going to open this up. Give me a second. All right. I'm going to put this on pause. I'll be back. All right. So now we're looking at part of fortune in the 8th house. So this type of person, this person is a walking testimony to 8th house matters. So that's why you have a free form that explains to you the 8th house. So you should really learn the 8th house, because you are a walking testimony. The 8th house matters. This person will be interested in the occult, the unknown. They have good powers of regeneration and rejuvenation. And they can be an expert at investigations. That's why I said that's how you can create these video games that nobody thought of. They're an expert in investigation, research, and detective work. This person can keep a secret so well that he is like an international diplomat, and he can indeed earn a living this way. So that, anything that calls confidentiality or detective work. This person can also make a living based on the talents and abilities of others, such as an agent or manager, even a manager of other people's money, because the 8th house is about money and finances and debt, investments, real estate. This person is usually very attractive due to personal magnetism. So that's part of fortune in the 8th house, which is what you have. But now you want to look at part of fortune in the Aries. Part of fortune is Aries. This person has action, is active, bold, confident, self-assertive. They take initiative. This person will achieve happiness and success through innovative and creative efforts. So we keep saying you're going to create something by which you're going to make a good amount of money. That's in your chart. Now Lilith is real close to your border. So Lilith could be in your 9th house or your 8th house. And because we don't have the exact time of your birth, you gave me an estimate. It's just kind of wise to give you both possibilities. But give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find this little file, because some of my files, that's why I keep putting this on pause. Some of my files got lost or whatever. And I'm trying to find if they're on my F drive or whatever. Okay, good. So at least I have this. All right, so it went into there. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to put it on the desktop for now. And then we're also going to save it to the F drive to make so I have 2 copies. I may have already done that, but we're going to do it again. All right, now we know we have it. So again, you just have to listen up, because you know your life better than me, of course. So because we don't have the exact time, I have to give you Lilith in both the 8th house and the 9th house. So we won't say Lilith in the 8th house. They do it like this. They're going to say, we're going to do Lilith in Aries, and then we're going to do Lilith in Taurus, because those are those 2 signs. All right. Lilith and Aries. They use a word I ain't never seen before. I'm not gonna use this one. Just give me a moment. Sexual competitiveness and immodesty. Alright, give me a second. Look at some other ones. Impulsive, independent, passionate, rebellious, fierce, physical. A Lilith in Aries is a person that may be fearful of unworthiness, and they say competitive. You like to compare yourself to other people. To overcome this, they should not measure their own success by other people. But see, that's what the eighth house is about. If you're going to talk about finances and possessions and debt, and so you may find yourself comparing yourself. But you also got to remember the eighth house is also about karma. So whatever you put out, whatever energy you put out, will eventually come back to you. So it says you should not compare your success to other people's success, but to measure everybody as unique individuals. Lilith in Aries is the fiery sex siren. A Lilith in Aries knows what they want and is going to get it. They're assertive, aggressive, dominant. She takes the power of Mars and lets Lilith ride away in its war chariot. She may be a little selfish in the bedroom, putting her pleasure first. She may be perceived as masculine if she takes on the more dominant role. She can also imbue sex with the youthful energy, like teenagers first falling in love. Underneath her cutting aggression, she is a hopeless romantic. She tends to love the chase and may lose interest after making a conquest. But it's only because she's searching for the perfect partner, someone who will keep her flame burning forever, ever. The most passionate of the Liliths, her sex recalls the days of knights and maidens. So that's the kind of sex or the kind of sexual situation you would find yourself in, or how you internally think about sex if you have Lilith in your in Aries. And the eighth house is about sex anyway. Now we're gonna look for Lilith in Taurus. We're going into your ninth house. Sensual. Thank you. Give me a second, y'all. Cause there's a lot of rain, which is good because it changes my schedule. But I need to be indoors right now. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. But I was supposed to be outdoors tomorrow. It's a lot of rain, but unfortunately, a lot of rain means you start seeing mosquitoes and stuff. So I saw something flying around this room, and I hope it's just one, and it flew up on the screen. And I got to be careful because it's my tendency to punch, and this computer's real fragile if you don't broke it. But fortunately, I think I got it, and hopefully I won't see no more. Lilith in Taurus, sensual, natural, desirous, inspiring, deep-rooted, resourceful. So either way, you're going to definitely have a situation with sex, sensuality. And then they say Lilith and Taurus can mean gold digging and lust. So this is somebody that just wants to have sex, just wants to be satisfied, and plus they'll use sex to make money. In other words, they'll even use a person. They may make money off of sex selling their self, or they may deal with people who sell sex for money. Lilith and Taurus, they fear scarcity. They can be prone to indulge in compulsive consumption. To overcome this, they should not fill the empty void they feel with things, but should stretch themselves beyond their comfort zones in the material world by turning into their spiritual nature. So everybody has a dark side. That's what I always say. So we all got the light side and we got the dark side. All right. Now let me just move this out of the way. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right. Let me just do this real quick. All right. So we'll continue. So that's why I told you this is where things start to change on your chart a little bit, because everybody got a light side, a dark side. Uh, and ironically, it's your true north node. Your true north node is what you're supposed to work on in this life. When we go back to your south node, you see Scorpio in the 3rd house, but you still see Pluto. See, the 9th house is all about, like I said, foreign travel, foreign, strange things, philosophy, religion. You could even say high, even really international education, learning foreign language, foreign world. And Taurus is still a sign about money. It can be the sign of sensuality, but it can also be the sign of money and possessions in the 2nd house. But it could also be somebody that's stubborn as well. So, but your true north node is to have that Taurus, and it's the 9th house is your higher conscious house by Sagittarius. Now, but that's your true north node, which you should be working on in this life. But your south node takes you back to Gemini and communications and Scorpio and Pluto but whenever you deal with Scorpio or Pluto, you are dealing with like sexuality and secrets and suspicious activities, being doubtful and hidden knowledge and stuff. So the mystery of that is we want to learn more about Taurus in the ninth house and see what they say. So give me a moment. We'll look at that. I'll give me a sec. All right. Now we're going to say Taurus in the ninth house. All right. Nope. Ninth. Okay, this is from Astrology Club. I don't know if I'm going to read all of it, but we'll see. Taurus in the ninth house. You're likely to be philosophical or spiritual to earn or otherwise attain your financial. And that's what they kind of said about Lilith. They said in order to deal with Lilith, selfish lust, that's basically what they were talking about. They would like work on your spiritual side more. So Taurus in the ninth house, you're likely to be, you likely look to the philosophical or spiritual to earn your income or otherwise attain your financial and material resources. But we got to be real careful because they're talking about income because Taurus is the second house of income. But we gotta be careful because that's really your career sector is your 10th house. So we want to make sure we don't get confused. Unless you're going to be traveling internationally overseas to earn your income as well. There is a danger that you use your intellect to take the place of tangible and practical efforts, expecting that your beliefs and philosophies will do it for you. See, I'm all about tangible. But see, this is what I try to say, and I'm going to keep this 100. It's kind of sad when you spend a large part of your life studying and learning, and then you try to teach people, and the response is, well, I don't know that, and blah, blah, blah. And they keep back to like, well, why would I listen to you? But you'll listen to a rapper, you'll listen to a rock and roller, you'll listen to a prostitute, but you won't listen to an intellect. So that's why, again, another person said, if we're playing basketball, and I go over your head and make a score, you go, wow, 3 points, wow. But if I take a book and give you some knowledge that goes over your head, you get pissed off and want to fuck me up. So we can't play that game. So it's nothing wrong. People can't understand you intellectually. If they don't want to pick up a book, if they don't want to study, if they don't want to respect the fact that you dedicated your life to this information, fuck them. Haha. Life is still going to be good. I've been telling everybody, I heard a dispute between Judge Greg Mathis and Wendy Williams. Now, it's a classic, but I never heard it till that because God is working on me. But I just heard that last night, and it was sweet. Now, I'm not picking sides, but Judge Mathis told it like it was. Because a lot of people be living disgusting lies, and they want to talk about you. Or they want to put your name in some nonsense where your name don't need to be. So I'm like, if you really did put the work in to study, and you are intellect because you know what you're talking about, and people still want to talk trash because they just want to stay in their low, let them stay there. Why let them pull you down to some nonsense? So what they're basically telling you to do is, even though you might have beliefs or philosophies that work for you, or you might be intellectual, you have to go back and be more in such a way that they can understand it. So that's a choice you would have to make. But I'm going to read it again. There is a danger that you use your intellect to take the place of tangible and practical efforts, expecting that your beliefs and philosophies will do the work for you. But if you tapped into real beliefs and real philosophies, they should do the work for you. That's the whole point of studying and getting educated and stuff like. There's nothing wrong with getting educated. Everybody don't want to shake their ass. Everybody don't want to sell their soul to the Illuminati and get fucked up in their ass. Everybody don't want to do that. So there's nothing wrong with intelligence. Nothing wrong with being a good man. Nothing wrong with none of that. You're just in a world that takes all of that shit and makes it bad. That's like, I know a lot of guys. How did you get turned out? You wasn't always like that. Well, we was talking to the females and they thought, being gay was cute and now I'm gay. Yeah, well, you just showed out who you were just to get a piece of ass. Didn't you have a little bit of self-confidence in yourself not to do that? So here we keep it 100. We're not with the BS. All right. It says this: it is important not to depend on or expect education and information alone to carry you through to wealth and abundance. You may find that communicating the wisdom of your life experiences to others helps you find and retain finances and material resources. So now they're double talking. They just said it's important not to depend on or expect education and information alone to carry you through to wealth and abundance. But then they say you may find that communicating the wisdom of your life experience to others helps you find and or attain financial or material resources. So you're contradicting yourself. So first you're saying don't do it, then you're saying but you can get paid doing it. Which one is it? All right, so this is astrologyclub.org. It says astrologyclub.org /Taurus -ninth -house -crust. So that's where I'm getting this information from. You may also find that sharing your philosophical or religious beliefs contribute greatly to your ability to generate wealth in abundance. So of course, they're double talking. So again, it's nothing wrong with having an education. It's nothing wrong with knowing things and having beliefs. And we already established that fact that by doing that and helping others, that you will make money doing so. We already did that. Okay, so they say that Taurus in the 9th house, when they're on a lower vibration, they could care less what the truth is. They're going to speak whatever truth puts the money in their pocket. And that's what you find with most religions and most of these televangelists and all these people. They'll say anything to keep the money rolling. So they say this type of person will go into a religion or whatever, a philosophy or whatever, and they'll like see the information, but they really don't care about the correct interpretation of like symbols and stuff. They just switch it up and use it to make a lot of money. So they're advising that type of Taurus in the 9th house to put a greater value on knowledge. Well, then we already said that. There's nothing wrong with being intelligent. One minute you're acting like it is, now you're saying it's not. There must be a greater value placed on knowledge because in the past it was knowledge. It was knowledge possibly for the sake of knowledge itself, or knowledge as a Taurus could use purely for self-promotion or material gain, rather than for communicating it with others by direct reaction, of course, to the 3rd house. And that's what it is, because we are in his 3rd house. We already talked about his 3rd house. And if you notice, you see his 3rd house is very significant. So this is the responsibility of the 9th house affairs. They said the 9th house is also involved with the Christ concept of harmony and wisdom. So that goes back to Libra. Let me look at your chart. Balance. It does not indicate that the possibility in past lifetimes the Taurus was out of harmony. It says it does. It does indicate that possibly in past lives the Taurus was out of harmony and certainly did not work from the Christ concept. Now, the reason why that's interesting, because that is where your true North Node is, where your Taurus is. And true North Node is telling you what you need to work on in this life, because when you go back to the South Node, that says what you worked on in the last life, which is, I think, the third house, which is ruled by Gemini and Pluto and Scorpio and stuff like that. So it does indicate in past lifetimes the Taurus was out of harmony and certainly did not work from the Christ concept, and wisdom itself was a superficial type of wisdom, surface wisdom. The responsibility of Taurus in the ninth house is the value of higher knowledge, philosophy, psychology, religion, higher education, and how this could be communicated to this fellow man, to his fellow man. One of the qualities of Taurus is creative, artistic. We already talked about that. So like they said, it connects to the third house, and it really does, which could be brought into play in mental pursuits and higher mind activities and developing the beautiful concepts of the higher truths. As the planet Venus is the ruler of Taurus, we are involved with balance, inner peace, harmony, and its mental pursuit or activities of the higher mind. Well, you shouldn't just say Venus, you should say Libra, because Venus rules Taurus and Libra is more about harmony and that stuff. Venus is too, but Libra more so. So you should also say Libra. And it says Taurus can find his own balance. So it's an issue of finding balance, not taking advantage of people, and not seeking sex for the wrong reason, and not using sex for a wrong reason. Undoubtedly, in the past, he was out of balance, using the knowledge purely for a material, physical world. And that's your South Node is your communication sector. And again, it was knowledge, because that's Scorpio is knowledge and stuff like that. So, and they're kind of implying that in the past life, your South Node, you had the ability, but you used it for selfish means. And they're advising you in this life to not do that. In this life, to really be spiritual, and in this life, and that's what I do. Okay. All right. I gotta put this on hold because there's some crazy stuff going on, and I gotta find out what's going on. I'll be back in a moment. All right. So we'll continue. Said undoubtedly this person in the past life was out of balance. We already covered that. Using information just to make a profit. Now they say the ninth house is also the house of freedom. Saying this person may have to learn how to not be dogmatic, but grant people the freedom to think as they so desire. And again, you know I'm against that. That could be dangerous. That's what the problem is right now. Everybody wants to do what they want to do. That's what the Bible book of Judges is all about. People want to do what they want to do and couldn't care less what God said. So that's not always the wisest course. The creative talents of Taurus involve a mental pursuit. Also brings the ability to expand knowledge, to bring new ideas and new concepts to what is already known. In reality, one of the responsibilities of Taurus in the ninth house is not to be satisfied with just what is known, but to expand and grow within the framework of what is accepted. See, I don't know. I don't agree with that, because your whole chart is being innovative and creating and going into the unknown without fear. So that part don't have nothing to do with this. Nana saying, oh, he got to stay within a framework of what's accepted. See, that's more like Saturn energy. That's what Saturn wants you to do. Saturn just wants you to shut up and obey the rules. So this has nothing to do with Taurus in the ninth house. One usually thinks of Taurus on a purely mundane level and associates. Taurus with the lower personality, the physical being, the mundane or materialistic individual. This Taurus on the ninth house must learn the value of the higher self, and that could be true because it is the ninth house is the higher self house, the essence within or the spirit within, and the higher mind. And that's also has to do with twin flame, because your twin flame will be your higher self. It'll be the higher you. You and you together make up your higher self. There must be the flexibility so that the Taurus does not fall into the trap of a set pattern of thinking and behavior and the presenting of one's ideas to others. Okay, that covers that. And that is your true north node. So that is what you should be working on in this life. So it was covered. And again, whenever you hear this information, because it is video audio, you can always stop it and go back. It's so much important. See, I'm more interested in people taking notes. I'm more interested in people slowing things down that they get it. Because it's easy to ask somebody, what does that mean? And that could become very profitable for me, but it's not going to help you out. And we just read that about Taurus in the ninth house. See, I'm not here. Like, I like money just like everybody else, but I'm not here to rip you off. So that laziness that's common, especially in this country, the USA, you want to try to slow it down just a little bit and just try, like, take a pen and pad and go through all your 12 houses and just see what you learn from it. Don't because you have a video, so I did already explain it to you. But then you still want to talk or whatever. But try to learn it yourself. That's the best thing to do. And then you can still come back with better questions now, because now you have a better understanding if you still want to ask questions. But you don't want to be lazy and say, oh, I don't get it, explain it to me, because that was the whole point of the video, to go slow and explain it to you. Now it's up to you to pick it up, take notes and everything, and get a better understanding. Now, we get to your 10th house, which is your career house. And ironically, you have Gemini. So they keep taking you back to your 3rd house. And ironically, your 3rd house is your south node, or your past life. And that's why Chiron is retrograde, because Chiron is the healer, and it's retrograde because it's healing your past life. So now you'll be in some type of communications with Gemini. And again, it may have something to do with the unknown. It may, from everything we've been reading. Now in your 11th house, which is friends and associates, but ironically, Pallas is there. And Pallas has to do with the female, the protection of the female. But Pallas also helps you see synchronicities and patterns. So your 11th house, which is supposed to be about friends, associations, and groups, ruled by Aquarius, ironically has Cancer there. So Cancer would take you back to your 4th house, because Cancer rules your 4th house. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it goes back to your 9th house, where Taurus is, which is all about, like they said, freedom, travel, things of that nature. So again, you may make friends across the world. And it also has to do with your family. Has something to do with your, sometimes we call people we like family, even though they might not be our bloodline family, but we do call them family. So your 11th house is directly connected to your 4th house, and your 4th house really rules the 9th house. So this is all about, you may really be going throughout the world. You may make finances that way as well. And again, you may also be encouraging others or teaching others as well. Your final house is the 12th house with Leo there. Now, your 12th house is the spiritual house. It's ruled by Pisces. Now, Leo is the 5th house. Again, Leo is about travel, having fun, romance. But it seems like you're not really going to have romance unless it's a Pisces. Something with a spiritual person, because that's what Pisces is. It could be the zodiac sign Pisces. It could actually be a spiritual person, because even in your 7th house, you see Pisces, a spiritual person. And the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. And as you see, they're like opposing each other. So again, the universe is trying to show you that in your 12th house, and you have Curious, you have the asteroid Curious, which is also a nurturer, which is kind of like the moon. And then when you go across, there's the moon with Pisces. So you got a lot of moon or nurturing energy coming. And so this person is going to help you. Leo can be a leader. Leo is bold. He's romantic, entertaining, likes to travel, likes to have fun, childish, or has fun with children. And the 12th house is a spiritual house. It could be church, but it could also be prison, and it could be psychology, anything with a building, psychologist, a mental ward, mental institution, prisons, hospitals, all this, but it also deals with secrets and it deals with animals and things like that. So the implication is as you're traveling, you may meet this person and there may be some dysfunctions there that you're going to have to work through. But the secret is being spiritual, being psychic as well, but also being spiritual. And that would kind of explain why you got Capricorn in your fifth house that Leo rules, because that's where you're going to meet this person. That's the vertex cross, a significant meeting. That's what that means. But again, it's going to take your professionalism, not to fully overreact, because that's what Capricorn's going to do, career and reputation. And that he rules your 10th house. And in your 10th house, ironically, is Jeremiah. Gemini rather, where you go to your third back and there's Scorpio and stuff. So possibly in a past life you were highly sexual, because that seems to be the underlying theme. Like in your past life, the South Node, you were highly sexual, and in this life they're telling you to calm it down, be a little bit more professional, and stabilize. Not telling you not to have fun, but it is telling you this life be a little bit more mature and focus more on helping people as opposed of exploiting them. And then that's the challenge, because you could be a teacher somewhere and a female walks in, it's a brick house, and she's a beautiful and she's ready to fuck. Now I'm going to be real, because I've been in that situation numerous occasions, but you're not the person who you used to be. So somehow you have to come up with the self-control, because that's what Saturn is about. And if you know, Saturn is right there with Scorpio, and that's what Capricorn is about. And Capricorn is in your Leo sector. So you have to come up with the self-control, not to just hit it and quit it like James Brown. And you have to come up with the self-control and the maturity to say, if you don't have no real plans with this female, not to just exploit her sexually, because obviously they're saying that's what you were doing in the past life. That's the implication. So you got to really be more mature, even though, she'll be looking at you like you're a sucker, and she may even be wondering if you're gay, because she's like, I'm beautiful and I'm ready, and why is he acting like that? So you have to come to these things, but you may flip it around and actually work with her, get to know her, and she might actually become a significant relationship, because there you see Pisces in your 7th house. But the universe is saying, don't just look at it like you used to look at women in the past life or situations, was what can I get out of it? How is this going to serve my interest? And when you see Lilith, you have to be very careful, because that's what Lilith is about. Lilith is all about getting what she wants. And you see Lilith in that same sector, that same house area, where they were telling you that in the past life you were somewhat selfish and just using people to get money, using people to get sex, and yada, yada, yada. So if it hasn't already happened, but it will happen, you're probably going to have a lot of temptation coming your way, which is unbelievable. Females, bad bodies, everything a man wants in the fleshly sense, and it's going to be coming your way, and they're going to kind of like, the universe is telling you to try to work on not seeing that as an opportunity for sex. See it as an opportunity to grow as a man, and also to share information that you have and knowledge that you're learning. So that's what I'm seeing on your chart. We did cover everything, past life, and there are other readings you can get. You can get numerology reading on your name and your birth date. That's another service that's offered. You can also ask angel card questions. That's another service that's offered. So that's totally up to you. But at least now, the main thing I tell everybody, this is what I tell everybody: make sure you have your natal chart. Make sure you get the universal understanding of what the universe is saying about you. But I do always ask angel questions, because angel questions give you more insight, and they go right back to your natal chart. They'll direct you back to the natal chart. So you can listen more on this channel, Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444, to see how it's done. That's how it's done. Now, what happens is, a lot of times people give me way more credit than I'm going to take. See, I'm just a messenger for the universe. I'm a messenger for the archangels. So I'm just trying to point you in the right direction. So I'm not trying to be anybody's guru. I'm not looking for a following. And at the end of the day, I'm human with my own problems. So when you look at it that way, you're going to get lost, or you're going to get confused, or you're going to run to another channel. But you should look at where you were sent with that initial information and build on it, not run. Because when you run, you're not going to grow the way you should grow. And again, that's why your chart is implying that you saw life a certain way in a past life. It was all about you, all about beauty, all about your knowledge, all about your intellect, all about how you can use your situation to get more money and how you can use your situation to get more sex. That seems to be what they're saying about your chart. Now they're kind of encouraging you to not be that way. And though you're going to keep getting tempted, it's going to be the same temptation, probably even worse. More aggressive females, more everything. But they want you to become more of a stable man and not think with the wrong head. So what I'm saying is, if you hear that, you can grow on it, you can build on it, you can get the help you need. But if you run somewhere else, then whatever you were supposed to be working on, that's going to crumble. And what we do, we go back to third dimensional. Like most people stay in their south node. They stay in their south node because they're used to it and they're comfortable. But the north node is challenging. Because you know how temptation can be. You've been on the planet long enough to know when a woman wants to do something with you, what they can try to do. And they're experts at what they do. Although they'll act like, oh, I'm innocent and that, oh, that's not what I was trying to do. And no, we know what you were trying to do. So that's my point. But the only way to progress is to go into that north node, stand on both feet, and learn. Even if you fall a couple of times, but you're getting back up, wiping yourself off, and learning. But when you run, oh, I don't like him, he's too this, oh, I don't know, he sound like he, and you run, then you go all the way back, and you keep falling right back to the third node, the south node, which is in your third house. But your south node is in the third house. But the south node just could be anywhere. It's the opposite of your north node. And then when they wonder why stuff's not working, or they wonder why their twin flame situation is not getting better, because you're running. You're not standing and saying, I got to work on me and let the universe work on my twin. And if they really do their job, then there will come a time when she may not be so third dimensional next time I see her, if she's working on herself. But again, I'm not going back to third dimensional. So whatever state she's in when I see her, if she still can't have a mature conversation, there's nothing we could talk about, because I refuse to go back to third dimensional. And as far as whatever my past life was, why would I be interested in my past life when I'm living my present life? So you have to know how to take some authority. And you don't get that authority by running or taking advantage of somebody like me that's helping people and making it as reasonable or affordable as possible. And they still got issues because they want to stay third dimensional. They don't want to grow up. They want to stay third dimensional kids. Do what I want and then go love and light. Do what I want and then go Jesus Christ. You keep making excuses, but you don't do anything that a mature person will do. And you don't realize everything you do is being written down. It's called karma. The universe is watching you. Angels are watching you. And they're seeing everything you do. And when it comes time for judgment, that's when he says, get away from me. I don't know you. That's Matthew 7:13-29. Because this person tricked themselves. They kept lying. They met me that tells the truth. So you got the truth. But you don't want the truth. So you want to keep running and doing what you want to do. So you'll pay for that when time comes for judgment. And thank goodness you have people that are starting to raise up and tell you the same thing. People like Kendrick Lamar. He tells you the exact same thing I just got finished telling you. There is joy in serving God, but there's also fear of God's wrath, fear of God's judgment. So that's why the universe is waking people up now through natal charts and synchronicities and birds and you name it. The universe is waking you up to who you really are, where you really came from. Don't be so involved with these religions because they were set up to keep you in bondage. They were not set up to teach you about the star. Jesus Christ had a star. How come you don't? How come you don't have a star? If Jesus Christ had a star, if a person calls himself a Christian, well, he had a star. So how come you don't? The Bible says the heavens are declaring the glory of God. So why are you afraid to talk about the heavens? Because some liar taught you that was evil. And they try to keep you caught up in their interpretation of holy writings. But that's a bunch of bull. It just keeps you caught up in their nonsense. And that's why you have all these people running around thinking they could do whatever they want to. And they're good people and nothing's going to happen to them when judgment comes. And that's just not true. So people like me that really show you the truth of the Bible or really show you the truth about the stars, that's what it's about. So you either respect that And don't expect me to be perfect, because I don't want to be perfect. I could be raking it in. I could be on planes and everything if I wanted to. If I wanted to milk this world like everybody else does. I don't want that. I want to see people who really love God wake the fuck up and do what they should be doing. And it's not that difficult. It really isn't. You're just led to believe that it's difficult. It's not that difficult. Just like somebody that's a little overweight. If you were to just buy yourself an exercise bike and just have your favorite TV shows, if you were to get on that bike and just get into your TV shows and pedal, you would start losing weight. And the more you did it, the more easier it would get, the longer you would go. And before you know it, you're always on that bike watching TV. And all of a sudden you lost like 5, 10 or more pounds. And you don't even think what happened. You're in your mind goes, oh, it's hard. I don't want to be on a bike. Oh, I'm going to sweat. Oh, I don't want to do it. I'd rather sit and eat. I'd rather not. I'd rather find a different way to lose weight. I don't know how, but I don't want to get on that bike. But once you get on the bike and start and watch your favorite TV show and whatever on the phone or whatever, you ain't going to be thinking about that. Because that's how I lost a lot of weight. You don't even be thinking about the wheel and everything. You looking at your TV show. Your mind ain't even on it. And before you know it, you can't stay off the bike. Whereas before, you're like, oh, no way, So it's the same way with anything else. Once you get past that mental barrier, I can't do it, I don't want to do it. I'm not passing up that sex. She looks beautiful. But the bottom line is she may be carrying a package. You might find out that she's like a man down there. You don't know all that. You're just diving in crazy. And then after you dive, what happens to most people when they dive in? They wish they didn't. And that's why all these twin flamers, 1 minute they talking about wham, bam, thing, oh, great sex. And next minute they talking about he don't call me. Why don't she call me? Or they with somebody else now. I didn't know they had a boyfriend. Because that's that third level, low frequency animalistic behavior that the Bible is against. And the universe is really saying don't do it. And if the universe was saying have sex with everybody, there would be no such thing as sexual diseases. This is the deal. If really the universe wanted you to bang out everything, there would be no diseases. And then you would have no kids going, where's daddy? Who's my daddy? All of the baby mama drama, daddy drama. So all that stuff ain't right. That's why God said don't do it. So when you really fall into this program, you humble yourself. I'm the last person you'll be worrying about because I do my job. Whether they like how I do it or not, I could care less. But I do my job. What the person has to do is once they get the information, is learn from it. Stop thinking somebody else is going to do everything for you. Learn from it. Take notes. Learn. And then once you learn a little bit better, you may have questions, and that's great. But now you're asking questions that haven't already been answered because you actually did the homework, which people don't want to do it even when they go to school. They don't want to do homework. They want to be sloppy. They want to be lazy. They want to cheat. They want to get kicked out of school for cheating. They just want to be hard-headed, just like the person that don't want to get on the bike because in their mind, oh, I'm not going to do that. So that's what this is about, breaking those barriers. Now, this gentleman told me, he said, well, I'm not like those people that are running. So that's great. It's good not to be a runner. So try to stick with it. Thank God that people are out here teaching the truth. Thank God people like me are helping you at an affordable way. Because I can't give you all my time and stuff. Bills still got to be paid. That's why the angels taught me, stop that. You're just giving everything away for free. We're giving you all these gifts, and you're not getting nothing back. But some fool talking about love and light. When you done spend like 6 or 7 hours on their life, trying to help them understand life. And a lot of times, people don't even read that information. That's why you value stuff more when you pay for it. Somebody do 6 or 7 hours, you look at it real quick and be like, I'm not reading all that. Well, then why did you contact the person and look it up? So this is the foolishness we have in third dimensional. So that's why you have to have that Saturn energy when it comes to business. That no nonsense energy. That Capricorn energy. Because you got to say, this is how it's going. This is what the Lord wants me to do. And this is how it is. Now, you can choose to believe it or not, but I've done my job. And hopefully you won't run. Hopefully now you'll do your job. And if they do, they'll be better people. And then 4 or 5 months will go by and they'll still be on your channel. Whereas the weak ones, they're going to run. Because they don't want to work. They just want to know where their twins at. They just want the sex. I don't want to be lonely. They just going to run. Oh, I was sleeping with my twin, but then me and my twin went in separation. So now I'm sleeping with my soulmate. And then me and them, it's just a sexual thing. So I also sleep with, and that's all you hear. I hear it on YouTube. I'm not making this shit up. How many people you going to sleep with before you get some type of disease that kills you? So this is Gat. That's the point. God bless.